Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Mark Brayjack here. I am in beautiful Zurich, Switzerland, and right behind me is Zurich Lake. And you can see more of Zurich from a bunch of the Facebook photos that I've been posting recently, as well as some of the photos that are on my Instagram account. I've got my cousin's electric bike, and I hope you can hear what I'm saying. I know it's a little bit windy, so I'm gonna go to a more secluded area so you guys could probably hear me better. But this electric bike that I've got here, it belongs to my cousin, and he was cool with letting me take his bike out for the day so that I can go and do some exploring. The temperature is about somewhere between 15 and 18 degrees Celsius right now. So it's pretty nice weather. I wouldn't say that it's good for, shorts right now, but you could probably get away with maybe a t-shirt and some jeans. But it's always a good idea to have a sweater with you and maybe like a backpack or something. But anyways, today is my last day in Zurich before I fly to Lisbon to hike the Camino Português, or the Camino Português, or Português, as they would say in Portugal. It's too echoey in that room, so I'm just gonna stay right over here where you can see me. So I'm flying there tomorrow to Lisbon, and I have a couch surfing host in Lisbon that I'm looking forward to meeting. And then I'm going to stay there for one night. And after that, I'm going to the Church of Santiago, where I will begin my hike to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. The total length of the hike, it's about 620 kilometers. And if you take a different route, I think there's like the coastal route and there's also the central route. And I can't remember which one is longer. I think the coastal route it's only like 20 kilometers longer. So it's like 620 to 640 kilometers, something like that. But I just thought that after doing some exploring here in Zurich, I thought I would just take a few moments to sort of explain what's going on with my trip, why am I overseas right now, and just answer a few questions that I'm sure a lot of people probably have about my trip abroad. So here's basically what's going on. For the last couple of years, I have been working a full-time job. And ever since I got back from Israel, I have had this desire to go and live abroad somewhere. I mean, I wouldn't say I've always had a desire, but for the last few years, it's definitely been something that I have thought about doing. I just wasn't sure when the right time would be. When I went across Canada, I started to meet a bunch of people from all around the world, particularly when I was living in Lake Louise at that time, and I had met so many people that were on something called a working holiday visa. And for those of you who don't know, a working holiday visa is basically a permit that allows you to live and work in a country for 1 year at a time. And depending on which country that you're from and which country that you're applying to, you will have the option to renew your working holiday visa for an additional year. And the most that I've seen, and I could be totally wrong about this, but the most that I've seen is that you can renew it a maximum of one time, meaning that you could stay in that country for a total of 2 years before you have to leave. I have heard from somebody who has a working holiday visa in Spain, and what they did was that they left the country after the 1 year period, but they left the country for 3 months, and then they were able to reapply for their Spanish working holiday visa, which is something that I need to look into to see if that's just how it works or whatnot. But it's kind of a different story because I'm not planning to go to Spain, at least not going to live there. The only time I plan on going to Spain in the near future is when I'm on the Camino Português to Santiago de Compostela, and then when I cross over from from Portugal to Spain, that's when I plan to be in Spain. which I'm really looking forward to. So today is September 30th, and I am going to fly to Lisbon tomorrow, which will be October 1st, and then I plan on starting my hike on October 2nd, and then I'm estimating that it's going to take about the whole month. So I'm estimating around end of October to beginning of November, I will complete my hike on the Camino. So one question that I get a lot is why Sweden? And I guess I haven't really mentioned it, but I ended up getting a working holiday visa for Sweden. I'm just in Zurich, Switzerland right now because I am visiting my cousin who lives here, and he has been so kind as to open up his door for me and let me stay at his place for a while I kind of figure everything out right now. Because I don't have a job in Sweden, and I don't have a place to live in Sweden, and I really don't have anything in Sweden except for I started looking at some I was looking for some evangelical churches in Sweden that I could call my new home for the next little while, and I ended up finding about 4 or 5 of them, and there's one in Gothenburg that I'm really interested in, and I actually spoke on the phone with one of the leaders from that church, and we had a really, really good conversation. So if it was up to me, I would love to work and live in Gothenburg if possible, because there's this church that I just feel this strong connection with, and I really hope that I get to serve and worship in that church. That would be really cool. It's an international church of about 50 people, I believe he said, and there's a bunch of people there from all around the world. Some countries that he named were India, Brazil, the UK, Ireland, the US, and he said that there used to be some people there from Canada, but I guess if I go there, then I'd probably be the only Canadian at that church, which is totally cool. Yesterday I went to a church here in Zurich called the International Baptist Church of Zurich, and when I spoke with the pastor after the sermon was done, the pastor was telling me that there were about 35 different nations represented in that church alone. And I don't know the entire size of like how big the church is, like membership wise, but when I was there yesterday, there was about somewhere between like 50 and 60 people there, something like that. Good church, good biblical, solid teaching church. And if I was here in Zurich, although it is an hour away from where my cousin lives, that's not to say that I wouldn't find a place to live somewhere else. But if I did live here in Zurich, I'd definitely be a part of that congregation. So like I was saying, I'm going to Lisbon tomorrow. I'm going to hike the Camino de Santiago, and then in a month from now, I'm going to fly back to Zurich because I need to leave all of my stuff here and just take with me what I need to go on the Camino. And when I come back from the Camino, all of my stuff is going to be here at my cousin's house, so I need to come back and get it at some point. What I'm really hoping for is that I can stay with my cousin for an additional 2 weeks when I come back from the Camino de Santiago. And during that 2-week period, I'd like to try to find a place to live, as well as a job if possible. But first and foremost, finding a place to live is going to be a bigger concern for me as opposed to a job. People ask me, oh, well, Mark, like, what do you want to do? Like, what kind of work do you do or whatever? Like, I guess what I say to people is because I've learned a skilled trade over the last 2 years, I'm a CNC machine operator by trade. Back home, I was operating a CNC water jet machine, but I'd totally be open to other opportunities, whether it's operating a different machine or having a completely new job in a completely new industry altogether. So that would be totally cool too. I guess I didn't really answer my question as to why I picked Sweden to get a working holiday for Sweden. I guess I didn't really answer that question, but in a nutshell, as a Canadian citizen, I have I can't remember the number, I think it was about 40 different countries that I can apply to for a working holiday visa. And when I was looking at all of my options, being 28 years old right now, there are certain countries where the maximum age to get a working holiday visa is 30, and the other countries, the maximum age is 35. So for example, the UK, Sweden, Japan, and where's Brussels in? Oh goodness, Belgium. And there's a couple other countries as well that I wasn't really too interested in, but there was some other countries as well. Those countries, the maximum age as a Canadian citizen to get a working holiday visa for those particular countries is the age of 30. So if you are 30 years old, you can still apply, even if your 31st birthday, even if you're going to turn 31 years old in a week from now, you can still apply at the age, as long as the day that you fill your application, you are in fact 30 years old. Just wanted to put that in there for anybody who's thinking about getting a working holiday visa, and I hope that makes sense. But Sweden is one of the countries where the maximum age for Canadian citizens to get a working holiday visa is 30 years old, and because I'm 28, that time is coming up for me now. It's going to be relatively soon. So I thought that would definitely be one reason why I picked Sweden. Other countries where where the maximum age is 35 would include Spain, because that was a country that I was interested in. I believe Austria was on that list. Switzerland is on that list. Most countries, the maximum age is 35. And people are going to watch this video and they're going to say, no, the maximum age is 30, the maximum age is 30. Well, I did my research and it looks like they changed it. Because I know at one point, the maximum age was indeed 30 years old, but I think that they changed it at some point. So bear that in mind for those of you who are 35 or under and want to get a working holiday visa for somewhere. Another reason why I picked Sweden is because I wanted to go somewhere different. I wanted to go somewhere where the primary language was not English, but I didn't want to go to a place like Lithuania where there was like no English at all. And I also didn't want to go somewhere where there was like so much English that, such as like the UK or Australia, because I just find that like a lot of people from North America seem to flock over there, and like that's totally cool. There's nothing against the UK or Australia that I have. They're definitely countries that I've considered moving to, but I just wanted to go somewhere different. I know like it doesn't really make logical, rational sense as to like why would a Canadian from Southern Ontario want to go to a cold country like Sweden? And I know I don't really get it either, to be honest, but there's just something about that country that, as secular of a country as it is, it just appealed to me. And so that's kind of why I picked Sweden, and I'm just relying on God right now to provide me a place to live and a job as well. So I have confidence in that, and that is something that you can pray for me. And I would really appreciate that a lot. Thank you for those of you who have already been praying for me. So I hope that answers some questions. I don't really know what other questions that I feel like I need to answer. Like, that's kind of why I moved to Sweden. No, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in Sweden. Don't know where I'm going to be living. Don't know where I'm going to be working. In fact, I don't even know really anybody that lives in Sweden. But if you happen to know anybody in Sweden that could maybe help me get connected, maybe get me a temporary place to stay for a little bit while I look for a job in that area, whatever. If there's anything at all that really you can do to help me, please get in contact with me and let's have a conversation, because really I'm looking for any kind of assistance at all to help make this transition as smooth as possible. Well, we are coming up to the 15-minute mark on this video, so I better get going. I hope this has answered some questions for you. Listen, for those of you who are watching this video or have been seeing my travels and been thinking about getting a working holiday visa to go and live abroad somewhere, please get in contact with me and let's talk, because I know my visa isn't currently active yet. Like, it is active, like I can go to Sweden, like that's not what I mean. It starts on October 1st, by the way, and it ends in September of next year, but I'm not living anywhere yet. I'm not working anywhere yet, so I haven't really fully immersed myself in the working holiday visa lifestyle yet. I'm just visiting my cousin, but I'm feeling really good about this decision. And sometimes life is hard back home where you come from. Okay, I've had a pretty blessed and privileged life back home. I had a job, and I was living at home, and I wasn't really paying rent, and I had a lot going for me. I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of stuff that I had going for me, and I kind of kissed it all goodbye. I mean, at least for now. But hey, look, if you want to go and live somewhere, if you want to go and try something different, if you want to go and do something different, like, just do it. You know that one video from Shia LaBeouf that was posted a while back, and he's like, ugh, just do it. There's something you want to do, just do it, man. Like, just kind of one of those things. Like, just go and make it happen. But, you know, people are willing to help you if you just reach out and ask. So, and I'm definitely one of those people. So if you're watching this right now and you want to go live abroad somewhere, you want to get a working holiday visa and live somewhere, yeah, let's talk. Okay, I don't need to make this video any longer than it should be. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell below, and I will see you in the next video.